Hello world and welcome to One Frame Off. This is Jess.
I'm Brody.
Hello, Rose here.
And today we are going to be talking about the best and worst video game movies. And are there any good ones, actually? We're going to be deep diving into some of our personal favorites, the best that we can, and some of the worst. We've all got bad movies that we like, though, and I think that's mainly what this list is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Traditionally it's all bad stuff, but we have some stuff that we like.
And some we're just never getting that time back.
No.
Thanks for taking the one for the team on that one,
Yeah,
Brody.
so just a little context. I drew the short straw, and for I was the researcher, and the top thing on the docket was watch the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993.
Yes.
The movie that almost killed the Mario franchise.
Which, if I had to describe in one word, probably dog shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lordy.
But how were the practical effects?
I'll give it credit because it's 1993. It ain't no Jurassic Park. And that's just like the worst part. Like, it looks expensive for what it is. There's so much money got lost on that. All those coins just right down the drain.
All right. Well, since we're already talking about Mario, do you want to go ahead and give us you watched it last night? Go ahead and talk about it, Brody. Give us your synopsis.
So
After taking a sip of your drink, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need a sip of your drink to talk about this.
Oh yeah.
though.
Really quick.
I need
Actually,
to drink and forget this.
Actually, really quick, guys. What are we drinking today?
I got a party pack from Kona and got their I'm gonna sound like a buffoon pronouncing that. Kuabe. It's not even that hard. It's just like two vowels, and it's just destroying my brain right now.
No, it's not the beer. It's the movie.
It's the movie.
Yeah, it's not the
movie.
beer. It's the movie.
The movie made me dumb. I devolved watching it. I'll get into that. But yeah, no, I'm drinking an IPA from Kona Brewing. I love those guys.
Rose, what are you sipping on today?
I've got, naturally, my cider. Artifact feels like home.
What's another New England beer for Rose today? I am drinking, got a local North Carolina one here today, guys. Got the Car Hop Cherry Limeade Sour from Compass Rose that I'm drinking today.
All right.
Which is a local Raleigh beer. Hell yeah.
Don't know how she can drink that, but
Hell yeah, we got our
Sours
representing
are
Raleigh.
gross. I'm just
I'm
you know,
Brody on that one.
They're an acquired taste, and I'm very passionate about
the
them.
movie definitely put me in a bitter mood. I'm just like
We'll be drinking nothing but IPAs for a week because of this
I've
movie.
been so angry after watching. It turned me into the Hulk. I'm just a cynic now who just despises everything.
Professor Hulk.
All right,
Yes.
Brody.
Okay.
Professor Brody. Educate us on why it was so bad.
Well, let's start right at the beginning with the movie. It starts with a woman being chased down, going to an orphanage, and dropping off. And this is the backstory for Princess Daisy, so she just is dropping off this baby. It's just a giant egg that hatches with a baby in it. And a bunch of nuns are around it, in a very specific lighting to make it look like some sort of ritual.
Oh my
Is it like a Yoshi egg?
It's just very giant white dinosaur egg.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no wait, that's
a Yoshi egg. That's disappointing.
I
right
forgot.
off
That's
the bat.
actually not how it starts. It starts with Bob Hoskins as Mario giving an introduction on dinosaurs. And it's just back in the day there was so many dinosaurs. And then a meteorite hit it, and they all died. And he's just what if that opened up another dimension that was in the center of the earth, and dinosaurs were still alive? And I'm like,
Land of the Lost or Mario?
I'm just sitting there wouldn't that be nice, Bob Hoskins? Wouldn't that?
It would be nice,
So the Mario brothers, which actually aren't brothers in the movie.
They're not?
What?
No, they
They
go
still
in.
have the same names?
I'll get to.
Okay.
They make a joke about that later.
I'm sorry. A Super Mario Brothers movie.
Super Mario Brothers.
They're not even brothers.
No. In this provocative, controversial move, Luigi is Mario's adopted son and apprentice.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it's like they bring it up in a double date where it's just like so Daisy and Luigi meet up and they have a double date. And it's like, oh, I never knew my parents. They just left me the stone. And Luigi's like, I never knew my parents either. I just had Mario all my life. He adopted me.
I mean, to be fair, Mario has always been the big brother for Luigi. So...
He does seem older too. Yet,
Yeah, they're
and I know he's
brothers.
shorter, but he does seem a lot older.
I mean, that's kind of the point, though. Like, he's the older brother and Luigi's the younger brother.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm saying it's like it's feasible for like, oh, I'm old. I don't know why that's important for the story.
To adopt him as his son, though.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell there is an age difference between the actors. I forget the person who plays Luigi, but I just remember Bob Hoskins as Mario because who could forget that? But he is definitely like a late 20s guy, and Bob Hoskins as Mario is like late 40s.
John
to early 50s.
Leguizamo is Luigi.
Thank you for that.
I love it.
Thanks for verifying that.
Yes, all I can think of now is like Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, God.
That's for another episode. But yeah, so the Mario Brothers who do some actual plumbing in this movie. So
What?
bonkers.
Plumbers?
Could you believe
Plumbers
it?
in a actual movie about two plumbers?
Two brothers? Oh wait, they missed that part.
At least they got that. Like the first part, second part. They're plumbers, dude.
Yeah,
the
they're-
whole franchise. They're fucking plumbers.
There's a real mishmash of things that they're faithful to, and some that they're just very
I'm
fuck
surprised that Nintendo let that go. Like how much shit they let slide.
they definitely did not understand the assignment of this movie and what Mario is about. But so during a plumbing job, Daisy, I guess just digging up dinosaur bones, like, hey, can you fix this
She's
up
a
for me?
paleontologist. Okay, score one for one.
Score one for
Just
Daisy.
just 1 point for this film. Mm-hmm. She's a paleontologist. I'll get behind that.
They definitely bring that up where it's just there's some evil rich man trying to shut things down. It's like, who's the man responsible? And then Daisy walks out and it's like, I am. But yeah, so that happens. They go through a tunnel. Daisy gets kidnapped, and then they have to go to the other dimension that was blown into existence from the meteorite or whatever the fuck. And from there, they are in the Mushroom Kingdom, but not okay, just close your eyes and then picture the Mushroom Kingdom from all the Mario games you've played. Describe that to me.
It's round and colorful and bouncy
It has
and
a castle.
yeah.
Nothing like that.
What do you mean?
It's underground, always nighttime, dank as hell, covered in fungus. All the people are assholes, and they just walk in, and Luigi
To be
says, "We're not
fair,
in Brooklyn anymore."
Please tell me they say that.
They absolutely say that. Have I lied about any of this yet?
Is that the tagline on the VHS? We're not in Brooklyn anymore.
It might as well be.
I would have to say though, if Magic Kingdom were a real place, or Mushroom Kingdom, if it actually existed in our reality, yeah, it probably would be underground, covered in fungus and filled with assholes.
Yeah.
I gotta ask a question that I bet everyone's asking. Where the fuck is Peach?
Oh yeah.
The movie focuses heavily on her cousin, her friend, or are they cousins? I think they're cousins,
I
right?
thought they were just buds.
They're like frenemies, you know?
frenemies. Okay. Where the fuck is Peach? Because we're focusing so much on Daisy.
I'll answer that right now. She gone. No. I didn't mean like this. Like she was there and then.
Your princess is in another castle, Rose.
Your princess is in a better movie.
Yeah.
The one coming out soon.
Yeah, but they wanted the real love connection between Luigi and Daisy.
I like that. That is a very good notion. That's a very understated notion, too.
It's understated, but it really just
It's
kind of is
understated,
missing
but
the mark.
doesn't really need to happen. happen.
And also, FYI,
Yeah.
Daisy was Mario's girlfriend first.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Apparently, Mario, the original story is... Sorry to segue off into this. The original story is Mario kind of gave up on Peach, goes to a different part of the Mushroom Kingdom, comes across Daisy, they start dating. However, somewhere in the lore, it got switched where it's like Mario gets back with Peach and Luigi gets with Daisy. So it's a very
everybody loves a
understated-
blonde, you know.
Everyone, it's a highly understated, romantic connection.
It's very much like more than they really need for Mario. Because like Mario as a game is like, there's not really a narrative there.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, Peach's original name was Princess Toadstool, so.
Yeah. I think
For
that's-
everybody who's asking why I laugh, my dog makes the best derp face in the world.
Oh, yeah.
She just pops that little tongue out and just stares at you. And sometimes it's way too much for me to contain myself. She's so cute. Sorry, let's continue.
It's all right. I'll put up a picture of Gertie now so everyone can be in on it.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Look at that face.
I know. It's rough sometimes. She makes the best derp face.
But, she's the highlight of this conversation.
Yeah. So Luigi is interested in Daisy, and I kind of felt like the dynamic of Mario and Luigi wasn't really like what we think of it now, where it's just like Bob Hoskins the whole time is like comic relief, but he's supposed to be the protagonist.
Yeah.
We're just rooting for Luigi the whole time. He's the actual smart one.
I mean, that's the point of Luigi's
That's
Haunted
fairly
Mansion, though.
true,
Yeah,
throughout the
but
games as well.
That's the point of Luigi's Haunted Mansion, though, is to highlight Luigi. Even though he's, terrified as hell, he wants to save his friends, and he wants to save his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Why not make the movie Luigi's Haunted Mansion?
Luigi's Mansion didn't exist then.
That's such a tragedy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Luigi-
If this next the next Mario movie actually takes off, I could definitely see them doing that.
They should.
They should.
Anyways.
Oh yeah. What happened after that? So it's just a bunch of bullshit for a while. They get chased around into the city, go into a desert, and then back to the city. And the whole time, Bowser is there, but his name is Koopa, which is King Koopa, I guess.
So it's not Bowser. It's King
Not
Koopa.
Bowser. So I should mention too that he is not human but humanoid.
I hate that.
I
hate so much of this film.
So the whole idea is that since everyone's evolved from reptiles into sort of a humanoid thing, so it went from I was my millions of years ago we were T-Rexes and now I'm Bowser or Koopa and I'm just taking over everything. Yeah, he's weird. He's kind of got the Lisa Simpson haircut. If someone who knows what I'm talking about, they know.
How about we just pop it up right here?
Yeah, pop it up. I know
Picture.
It's very ugly. I'm gonna put a picture of Gertie next to it.
Oh, goodness, you are right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there it is.
How in the hell is that supposed to be,
Bowser?
a reptile?
So I forgot. Oh yeah, well there he is. I saw a picture of him with a tongue out, just trying to freak out Daisy, and he's got the straight up viper tongue to it.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh yeah, and the Goombas, that's over there too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The Goombas,
They're not even reptile people.
they're people with reptile heads. The whole Goombas are just the Mushroom Kingdom people that were devolved or de-evolutioned back into a primitive thing. And there actually is a part where Koopa goes up to the surface world and zaps a guy with a ray and turns him into a monkey.
Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong.
Oh my god,
For
they were
the
setting that up.
audiences.
Wait, no, the guy's name was something Scapelli, something very Italian
never
Brooklyn-y.
mind.
But now that I think about it, if his last name was Kong, oh my god, why didn't we
Diddy
write
Kong.
this shit?
Oh my god, Jeff brought up a big ass picture of what Brody is talking about.
It's not great. I don't feel like editing in another picture, so you just gotta take my word on it.
Take the reptile people from Doctor Who, except put a Joker smile smack dab in the middle of her face.
Yeah, and make it
that's
like...
what
They
you
look
get.
like Uncle Fester lizards.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what they
is
look like.
exactly what it is.
So, whatever the fuck, there's a bunch of bullshit. Daisy was actually like born there, and she's the princess of the land.
What?
But her father was turned into a giant fungi, so that way
King Toadstool.
Is he a fun guy?
he's very slimy.
Well, I mean, if we can't get Peach, let's just get her.
There actually
Daisy's
is
dad.
like one scene where it's like he goes back to being human, sitting on his throne. It's like, oh, well,
Cool.
okay, those are some cool guys, those Mario brothers. And it's like, why did that have to happen? Why did so many with the things in this movie have to happen?
Lord.
Yeah,
All right.
but like Mario and Luigi, like on paper, aren't cool, and that's why they're cool.
I think they're pretty rad.
I like
I don't
them.
know.
Well, to be fair, we talked about this in the Halloween episode. I do like Luigi's Haunted Mansion, so I do like Luigi to an extent.
I think he counters Mario, who's just like this blank slate of like joy.
I also appreciate how like Mario's all gun ho and brave, and then you have the very scared sibling, and the brave one's always like, "You can do it! I believe in you!" And then
Yippee.
when he's like pushed against a wall, he'll come through.
Yeah,
I
they're
like
the
that.
yin and the yang.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, if you saw those guys at a party, you wouldn't go up and talk to them right away.
I mean, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't be at a party
Yeah,
in the first place.
no, Rose, you would not. You would
What do
not.
you mean?
You would be in the corner with me.
Oh, I didn't know I was at a party with you. That's even better. If I had Brody
That's really
there,
sweet.
Oh yeah, I would,
if I had Brody with me or, any of my other friends, great. But if I was at a party alone, I'd probably talk to some of the other stragglers and loners. You know.
Luigi
Because-
would be in the corner. You would sort of see each other from a distance.
I'd probably give him a tiny little wave, hello, and then we'd go back to ignoring each other's
No,
existence.
Luigi would just run away after that.
Yeah, he would. I'd ignore his existence.
Mario.
Mario would be
Mario!
doing a keg stand.
Oh yeah. And then he would do a keg stand. He would backflip into a keg stand and then get a 1-up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And Luigi would, be running over, Mario!
Peach and Daisy would be taking vodka shots with Diet Coke chasers in the kitchen.
Oh, and of course, you got Bowser as their ultimate.
Party pooper.
Well, believe it or
for
not,
sure.
actually, Bowser's a really
he would
good
be the
DJ.
DJ.
Yeah, he would be the DJ.
That's what I'm saying, the ultimate
Yeah,
DJ.
yeah, Bowser
and-
would be the ultimate DJ.
All right.
Absolutely.
You know, you do know from Odyssey, he knows how to throw a wedding.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
hold on, I know, I'm sure.
But yeah, you were saying the Mario movie almost destroyed the actual Mario franchise.
Yeah, it did so badly that people were audiences were basically, yeah, no, this is one of the reasons why it took us so long to have standalone Mario games, because you have Mario Party,
Yeah.
then you also have
Mario Kart,
Mario
Golf,
Kart,
and
but those are group games, and those
Well,
are
when-
games that
When
large-
did Super Mario 64 come out? Because that was the ultimate game changer in the Mario franchise going forward into our generation. Absolutely.
I want to guess 97 or
Yeah,
98.
so-
I know Rose is typing it up right now.
Yeah. I don't know the exact date, and I know we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time talking about Mario games, but if you want to talk about, maybe for a few years people were doubtful, but
96.
yeah,
96.
Super Mario
But it
64 was an ultimate game changer.
It really was.
It really was, and for platformers in general,
that's
the way
still-
that they are now, it's set the standard.
Yeah, but that's still 3 years after that film. So you have to
So it was probably already in development when they were making the film.
and banking on the film doing well, going, oh shit, the film flanked.
It's no one's going to buy Super Mario 64 now that the movie was bad.
to God that this.
I
that this
just
game does well.
feel like shit. I haven't seen the movie, and at this point, I'm absolutely not going
Save yourself.
I'm not going to.
Save
I'm not
yourself.
going to. I still think even then Mario was still too big to fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are just certain franchises like that where We might find out. I don't know. They're making a Mario movie right now.
I'm excited.
That's true. And I just think like nowadays, like
I'm
Mario
excited
has
for
enough
it.
clout that like there's no chance
There's
this isn't
no
going to
way
make
that
billions of
Well,
dollars.
no, because the games are really good.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think like any tertiary projects, like a movie, it doesn't matter how much they bomb as long as the games are still good. It don't matter.
And Mario
Yeah.
is like the it guy. Like you go Billy on the Street style, like name a video game, someone's going to say Mario.
Yeah, they're gonna say Mario instantly, and even people who don't play video games know Mario.
No Mario, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mario one. And it's
Yeah,
like,
the
correct.
Mario
The
one.
Mario one.
Here's $1. But
Everybody's played Super Mario Brothers.
Everybody's played Super Mario Brothers. Or like some Super Mario game in their time.
Raising my hand, I have not played Super Mario Brothers. I played Mario Kart, Mario Party, and Luigi's Haunted Mansion 3.
So if you played like a true blue
You
Mario,
never played the
like,
first Mario game?
No.
They've redone it 1,000,000 times.
No.
what about like Sunshine or something like that?
Oh.
Nope.
Oh.
Sunshine is so much fun. The Odysseys are fantastic too.
You would love Odyssey if for nothing other than
I-
aesthetic.
Yeah.
I watched Jacksepticeye. Shout out to Jack. With his playthrough of Odyssey.
Okay.
And, I enjoyed it. But, I'm...
Looking at it is one of the best
I also
parts.
watched his playthrough of Luigi's Haunted Mansion 3, which made me want to get it.
Okay.
Despite
you didn't
my
have that for-
arachnophobia. Yeah, we
Are-
were talking last time, our Halloween episode, how I have arachnophobia.
Mm-hmm.
Switch Meat Wall almost happened, but I played that because the story was really interesting to me.
You said switch meat wall, and I'm like, that sounds like a
Almost.
good sandwich.
It almost
It does,
met
yeah.
the wall.
Oy.
Well,
I don't know. Spiders are
there's
friends.
there's a million
No, they
games
are
in
not.
the franchise you would find enjoyable. That's the whole point, is they're enjoyable for everybody. Like there's no age group, there's no demographic. It's like it's a series for everybody
Right.
through and through. Really quickly though, before we segue off of Mario Brothers, Brody, final thoughts on the film?
Did I say dog shit yet?
I think you
At
did.
least 5 times?
Okay. There's actually some things I like about it.
Oh yeah, let's talk about them.
Share this.
Okay, first of all, I'll shit on it all day, but Bob Hoskins overplays Mario to like a weird T. Like I remember a scene where it's just like, Mario, there's a big leak, we need plumbing, and he just like very triumphant, and he's like, I'm on the job. Like, it's played real straight. And then there's also one part where they're walking down a tunnel, and you can definitely tell like they're like far away, so they're clearly like ADRing the line. And my theory is that Bob Hoskins was just improvising, because it's like right after Daisy got kidnapped, and it's like, what are they gonna do? The guy's like, yeah, we're gonna beat him up, and Bob was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill him. I'm gonna rip their arms off and shove them down their throat. And I'm just like, okay, this guy just like really worked some shit out. And they were like, let's put that in the movie.
Well, it's like what you're saying when you're really frustrated during a boss fight, even though all the Mario boss fights are very enjoyable and fun. So
I'm gonna jump on him.
yeah, I'm gonna bop you on the head.
What else did I like?
I'm such a practical effect nerd. Like anytime I watch an older movie or any current movie, especially that like will choose practical effects over CGI, is always a check in the plus section for me.
And there was one part
regardless of how good the movie is.
And there was one thing that I saw that like kind of stood out to me as like sort of a lost art, and that was actual like claymation animation for special effects.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like there's one part where it's like when he's going between dimensions, like running into a wall and becoming like sand almost through the wall. And that I'm very sure is claymation. And I actually did see that again in an episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there's something about this that is just like so not like convincing like CGI, but like very charming.
Well, it's like a tangible looking thing, which is good to begin with. And I think for a lot of us, and I don't know how it is for I think like younger kids these days aren't as impressed with it as we were. But it reminds us of our childhoods, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know my little brother does not think stop-start animation is as cool as I do. They like the CGI movies more.
Right. CGI I think like gets a little more like realism.
Yeah, for
Stop
sure.
motion animation, though, is really fucking cool.
Yeah. It's it is an incredibly skilled thing to do. It's amazing.
Have you all seen My Life as a Zucchini?
You know, it's on my list. I haven't seen it yet.
It's like if you're really into that, I would recommend it.
Yeah, I have it on my list. I just haven't done it. There's a few really charming, like foreign films that use that. Oh, God, what's the one I'm thinking of? I can't remember it. We'll talk about it another day.
We're kind of transitioning.
Yeah, but Kubo and Two Strings was bomb.
Oh yeah, I love that one. But some other, before we really transition, some honorable mentions.
Okay.
Just to pop those out there: Scott Pilgrim, Tomb Raider, Mortal Kombat, all movies based on video games.
Yeah,
But we're not really gonna go into those.
No, I know it's like weird. We're not gonna sit and talk about Scott Pilgrim because it is. I'm not familiar with the games, unfortunately, and I don't think I'm gonna play them. I haven't read the comic books, but I've seen the movie multiple times. We all have. Everybody's seen Scott Pilgrim. Like it's a great fucking movie. It's a great time.
Yeah, another thing is though, just for everyone who's really big into it, the Resident Evil franchise. There are two different completely domain that we can go into. One goes in a completely different direction than the other. So today, when I do mention Resident Evil, we're going to talk about the movies, not the video games. But I will mention the upcoming Welcome to Raccoon City, which harks back to the video games. But I'll touch on that in a minute.
Is that when Raccoon City's the movie?
Yeah, so Resident
Okay.
Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I might as well just kind of jump into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the Resident Evil franchise kind of starts in 2002 for the movies, where we meet a chick named Alice.
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah,
The goddess.
She's great. She's amazing.
Yes.
She's, like her entire performance throughout every single one of the movies
Is the only reason why they still make the movies.
until Welcome to Raccoon City, which is supposed to come out this year. Or next year.
Side note really quick, Return to Raccoon City, isn't that really true to the games?
Welcome to Raccoon City, and yes.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
So
it's going to be a departure from what we're used to from the main
Mainstream.
movie franchise.
So the video games, as I said earlier, go in a completely different direction, and were actually made before the movies. The movies are based off of the video game franchise. Obviously, why else would I be talking about them? But we meet the actress playing Alice in the first film, and Alice is in Raccoon City. She's wandering around, finds out about the Umbrella Corporation and the T-Virus, and the T-Virus gets out, and so on and so forth. And then
she wakes up in the mansion.
Yeah, but the mansion
In
is
a beautiful red dress. She's incapacitated. She wakes up in an ornate bedroom.
which is not how the video games start. And if everyone who knows the video games, you start as a reporter going to Raccoon City to find your brother, who you end up meeting another young police officer. And he's like, hey, I'm going to Raccoon City too. I don't know what the hell is going on, but something's up. I was told to report at the police station. Come with me, and hopefully together we can find your bro.
Yeah, I remember as a kid being really disappointed that because I played the first Resident Evil when it was remastered on the GameCube, and I remember being really disappointed that I was like, oh shit, it's not the same mansion. I was like, because all the good things happen in the basement in the movie.
That's where the spooky stuff happens.
That's where all the weird
Brody's
shit happens.
shrugging his shoulders. He doesn't really know. This is not his domain.
Yeah, I have not touched.
He is the frame
this world.
off for this.
For this conversation, yeah, definitely off.
But yeah, no, so the mansion, we do revisit the mansion, and that's how we escape in the movie. And in kind of in the video game as well. Ish.
I kind of have a question about the video games, if y'all are open for that.
Yeah.
When did it go from, original ones were, very action-oriented, turn the corner in this
I
house
already
or
know.
whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did it transition to being, solely, this first-person survival
Oh,
horror?
Biohazard.
Biohazard. That was the
absolutely.
threshold?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That was the first person switch over, which I think was really smart for the franchise. I know me personally when I'm replaying some of the older ones, it was definitely useful and creepy mechanic in older games, like having that fixed POV, so you can't look around a corner, so you don't know what's going on. But I don't know, man. I just, at this point, like, quality of life stuff, I find it very unplayable. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and a lot of people will agree with me, but it's just, it is what it is.
I mean, 7 and 8 are really the video games. Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. 8 is known as The Village. Really take shit to another fucking level. So whenever we get a movie adaptation of that, I'm going to be very interested how you explain everything that happened in The Village, especially when the main character is, spoiler alert, dead for most of 7 and the entirety of the 8th game. I mean, I get it. Resident Evil, the movie franchise, was like, oh yeah, Alice is a fucking clone. FYI, spoiler alert, Alice is a clone. She's not the original. She's a clone of the original who fucking died because apparently she had, like, some really special either immunity or, like, really specific, and I mean super fucking specific version of the T-virus, which causes the zombie outbreak.
Okay.
Which was... This virus was developed by the Umbrella Corporation, who had this entire thing. It's called the Hive. It's entire
Which is what's
structure.
underneath the house in the first movie. It's like, oh, we go down this elevator and it's a hive. It's literally like you go
Like
down,
big
like
ass.
upside down beehive downwards of
Yeah.
just levels of fucked
And
up shit.
Someone purposefully...
It's kind of like the compound. It reminds you of the Cabin in the Woods.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, it's like Cabin in the Woods,
Yeah.
but it's like, zombie shit
like this
down.
little
Yeah,
quick
they-
collection
they-
of
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
And the
Okay.
reason why the Hive is underground is because they're working with shit like the T-virus, and the whole purpose was to avoid something like the T-virus getting out, which is why it's so deep underground. But obviously someone was like, fuck this shit, I'm letting it out. Turns out it was a different clone of Alice. Or like
there's
some
more
version-
clones.
Yeah. Oh no, there we see in one of the movies, I don't remember which one, we see an entire fucking factory just making clones of Alice and putting her into that mansion, putting her right through Raccoon City all over again just to see which clone is the best, cuz you know, at this rate we don't know which one is the original Alice.
So if we're getting into, because our list is best video game movies, I think we can both agree that the first Resident Evil movie is the best one.
I mean, from a story viewpoint, it's so loosely based on the video games. All it really does is share the name of Resident Evil. And here's my hang up, because the next one I am going to talk about is Assassin's Creed, which has a very similar problem. Because it shares a universe, quote unquote, a universe, and it shares aspects of it, but it doesn't share the main cast. Now, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City kind of goes back and is like, all right, we did Alice's whole thing. We're done with Alice. We
Okay.
did like 5 fucking films with this chick. Now it's actually time to switch over, go back to the video games and make a movie legitimately based on the video games. So that reporter and that police officer who I mentioned, I don't remember their names, I'm not going to look it up. But we actually get to see them.
Is it Claire?
It's like Claire
Claire
and
Redfield.
Claire something, yeah, it's Claire Renfield and the other dude.
Which one?
The guy, the police officer.
Leon?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I really...
I'm
really-
just kind of glazed over at one point.
Yeah, we're jumping around from movie to movie. I specifically think that the first Resident Evil movie is kind of the only good one and the only one worth watching.
Okay.
It has a very similar atmosphere to the first game
That's like the main
and other
question I
ones,
had.
which and I'm going to talk about the
No,
Silent Hill movie as well.
Watch the final chapter. Resident
Okay.
Evil 1 and Resident Evil Final Chapter, because that will literally just wrap up Alice's, like, you're introduced to Alice, and then in the film, because they know that a lot of people aren't really going to watch every single film in between, unlike me, who saw them all in theaters.
Yeah.
it kind of just wraps up Alice's story. And you can't really once you see the final chapter, you can't really take Alice any farther, which I think is the reason why they're going back to the video games.
I'm gonna tell you, Alice's story doesn't need to get wrapped up because it's not good. Just watch the first movie. No.
Excuse you, I liked it!
So then what's the point of the movie if it's not good?
It's good action.
It's
It's
good-
not about the
it's
story.
action.
It's zombie. It's killing stuff.
But, like,
From
my-
a lore standpoint, it is a good one to have for a lore, because it actually does a really good job of explaining how the T-virus gets out.
Okay.
Establishing this universe that is Resident Evil.
So it's like a side story that's like a big piece of the mosaic of what the game is all about.
Yes, it's a very good, hour and a half exposition of this is a game, the first 2 games, I'd say. Maybe-ish. And that's really what it is. It takes out a lot of the main characters from the video games.
Right.
But again, Welcome to Raccoon City really focuses more on bringing them back.
Arguably, at least in the first game, because I specifically only enjoyed the first Resident Evil movie, and I've seen the first 3 or 4 of them. I've seen them. I've done it. I don't think the characters are super important. Once again, it's about the ambiance, it's about the environment, it's about putting you like you feel like you're in a similar situation, which I feel like the first movie does successfully do.
And if you can't tell which game just really fucking loves from the Resident Evil franchise, you want to tell them?
Well, Biohazard's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Okay. And Biohazard, I remember did that come with the VR?
VR came out later, but you can play it in VR. I would recommend watching Game Grumps play it. Mm-hmm. They don't play it all the way through, but what they do play is really enjoyable.
I am just like Rose. That for me is just too much of the horror. VR and I'm actually in this.
I think it's the next level of horror entertainment, truthfully, because not much scares me. Only
but the
creepy
fact that
video
I
game.
have to actually navigate this myself is what's scary.
It's
about
true
it.
terror. I think it's fantastic. I think if you really want a true horror experience, that's the way to go. Specifically from the first movie, though, I do want to talk about one of my favorite scenes because I am a blood and guts gal, and you know what I'm going to talk about. It's the laser room scene. So,
I think this one I vaguely know about.
how can you not? How can you not?
It's so iconic.
Yeah, so there is they have to get through a passageway. It's when they're first entering the shit, you
Right,
know,
it's
they're getting
hive.
the hive, they're getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a laser guarded, spies dodging lasers sort of. They have to get through. And
By the way, can I just interrupt? Why wouldn't they just make a wall? Why wouldn't they just make an interweaved wall of just one single...
this explains why.
Okay, please.
This scene explains why.
somebody trips a trap and it becomes a gigantic wall, like you just said,
Oh, like an
of
actual
lasers that turn these people into beef cubes, and it is amazing.
Okay.
When did this movie come out?
2002.
Okay, cool. So I was 12.
Those, them
12-year-old
2002 beef
Jessica lost her shit. I love it. I loved it so much. The gore at the time, and I haven't rewatched it in a while. Me and my sisters used to watch this movie all the time. Top tier for 2002.
Okay.
Real good stuff.
Top tier 2002 beef cubes.
You remember,
yeah.
And you remember that factory I mentioned of the clones?
Yeah,
of
where they're
Alice's
just making
clones?
one a person.
Literally, how they test if a clone is good or not is putting her through the meat cube. And if she succeeds, then great, we have a good clone. If not, well, send the next one.
How do you pass the meat cube test? Do you have to actually
I don't
come
remember
out in
how
one
they got
piece?
through it.
It's basically
I just remember
a lot
the
of,
carnage.
Okay.
a lot of parkour, and she literally jumps up. There's nothing to grip, but she literally, this thing is also smart, and it moves with you, so you have to
Right.
outsmart this whole trap, because it's a wall that will move towards you, towards, the end of the hallway, but if it tracks your motion, so at one point, Alice is literally hanging like a fucking fly off the ceiling. Because she tricked the wall into thinking that she was going to, like, the left or the right, but
She
instead
tricked
she's,
the
like,
wall.
hanging off the fucking wall. There's nothing to grip. She's a goddamn fly.
She's very sticky.
Yeah. She grips the wall, or the ceiling, I should say. She's, like, on the fucking ceiling for 2 seconds. The wall, like, it fuzzes out, and there's a next, like, it also gets progressively harder for her. So you have to do some, like, movie-style parkour to get through it. But that's literally the challenge.
And this is
for
literally
each
the
of
first
clones.
thing they do after they get made. Like, fresh out
One
the
of the
oven,
things-
go
well,
through
They
the
don't
labor.
know that.
They don't know that.
They
but
don't know that.
It's one of the things, like, each of the clones wakes up in this mansion. And for Umbrella, it legitimately is, will this clone make it through?
Is the joke about that when you die, it's just like, oh yeah, you just weren't a good clone?
So here's the thing. This is like stuff that I think they just pulled out of their asses to write in later movies. And that is nowhere near a part of the plot for the first movie.
No.
It, like, absolutely not. Like,
no, the whole clone
yeah.
thing
But like,
is
as an
much
explanation
later.
for video games, it's like, oh, video games, you didn't save, you died, bad clone.
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? That's actually a wonderful parallel that I didn't even make. Yeah, absolutely. That's totally what it is. Although, do they bring up in the video in the movies the little typewriters as save points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can
Even
see-
I know that part.
So, like, even throughout the video games, one of the major save points that you come across is a typewriter. And in the movies, typewriters come up later on. Like, in the first film, you may see, like, maybe one in the mansion.
Just to sort of show it off, be like,
Just
hey,
to show it.
we
She
did a little
doesn't really
research.
interact
We
with
need
it.
to see it. Like, yeah, like, there it is.
Yeah. I mean, there's maybe one of them, but later on, in the movies, we meet a very smart, this is the man who created the T-virus.
okay.
Like, he's a scientist who wanted to save his daughter, who has, like, this degenerative disease or whatever that's literally going to kill her, and the T-virus could save her, possibly. And he has a typewriter in his house. And, like, the typewriter kind of, in the movies, becomes attached to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a few of his frames, you can see a typewriter in the room. But it's never really pointed out, like, yes, Alice is interacting with a fucking typewriter. No, unfortunately, that's not the case.
That's for us to know. All right, so we talked about Resident Evil a little bit. So the question is, like, is it a good video game movie? I know the series is huge. I know it's
No.
always expanding.
I'm gonna say no, because it doesn't really share a lot of lore points, or, like, the major lore points that are related to the characters specifically. So I'm gonna say no, but as a movie franchise, it's amazing. A+, you should see all of them, including Welcome to Raccoon City.
Okay.
That means it is a good video game movie.
No, it's different!
Okay. Just
And we
like-
had the same problem with Assassin's Creed, but that's coming up in a bit.
Yeah, and going off of what I observed from you guys, it sounds like the movies are just like a very big tone shift from like the real life horror that is like the games.
Completely different direction. As I said, they're two different spheres.
So I guess the real answer is it depends what kind of mood you're in. Like if you're in the mood for like high fantasy, wacky action like that.
Oh,
but-
absolutely. Then you'll have a good time watching, I think, at least the first movie.
Okay.
I don't really think delving too much further into the franchise is a fruitful endeavor. Like, I really just don't. But they're fun. The CGI's good. The action scenes are good.
For what was it? 2002.
Yeah. Like, for the time, like, it doesn't hold up as well as, like, The Matrix does.
Chef's kiss to the first one. Like,
Yeah,
wow.
Chef's kiss to the first Matrix.
Oh, I was talking about Resident Evil. Screw the Matrix.
Well, the
man.
second what?
What?
No, thank you. I don't like dystopian movies, and I'm surprised I even like Resident Evil.
Well, we're gonna put a pin in that for another day.
We're gonna put a pin in that because I can just go off.
Dystopia and like major horror.
So you
Not
hate all
like-
the major movie releases over the past 6 years.
Hold on. Oh, and another honorable mention. I didn't even know this, But Hitman also has a movie franchise, but it's
Is it
also a
good?
video game. I have never seen the films. That's why it's an honorable mention.
I know we're like not talking about how bad it is, so I'm sure. So I'm sure it probably is just like, if nothing else, maybe a little
Like
boring.
an Assassin's film. Like
The games are wonderful.
Yeah, the games.
The games are
Yeah.
amazing.
That's another thing. A lot of these movies that were like part of like the big video game franchises are very forgettable. Like I remember Rose was saying like, "Oh, Prince of Persia."
Oh yeah, off camera we did list a bunch of them. Prince of Persia was one of them that does have a movie.
The Jake Gyllenhaal vehicle.
Right.
Yep.
Which everyone is just now remembering at this exact same
Yeah.
moment.
But we also have another honorable mention that's coming out with Tom Holland,
Ooh,
Uncharted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
I've never played the Uncharted
I've never
games.
seen the games, but it looks good. and
I've
hope-
played like a little bit of some like on like PlayStation Now. Like they're fun. It's a lot of quick time events. They're really cinematic. I mean, they're PlayStation exclusive. They're good games.
That's
like,
the thing about them being cinematic. It really does feel like this was supposed to be a movie, but was expanded as like a video game instead.
Yeah, but those are just honorable mentions because Jess, we're gonna hop right into one that you love.
Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so I've dabbled with the Silent Hill games. I think, unfortunately, we discussed earlier how I have a hang up on like the fixed perspective, point of view in gaming, but I am a huge fan of the first Silent Hill movie.
Okay.
I think it is fantastic.
This is another franchise where, again, I'm completely off on it.
I've seen only like maybe one or two episodes of the gameplay, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. Silent Hill is terrifying from what
I've seen the monsters that everyone points out. I've seen the general atmosphere.
I don't like it. It's terrifying, especially just kind of give us a synopsis of what the video games are real quick.
Right, introduce us to that first.
Okay. Well, I've never played the video games.
Okay.
Which I know is super fucking helpful. I've tried to do it. I can't do it. I can't get into it. No. Yeah, I can't. It's if they remastered them with updated controls, I would blow through those fuckers. But yeah, it's the fixed POV. Like I just can't get into it. The shooting is clunky. It's like if you did not play those games when they came out, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like straight up you are. Or if you're a huge nostalgia gamer. It came out in 2006. Me and my sisters used to watch this movie all the time. Like every time we would get grounded, it's like, oh, guess we're going to watch Silent Hill 3 times today.
Nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do. Might as well enjoy some good atmospheric horror. Really loosely, the plot is this woman and her husband have an adopted daughter, Sharon, who has sleepwalking nightmares about this place called Silent Hill. In order to cure her daughter of her night terrors, what's her frickin' name?
I don't know.
You could tell me, and I'm just gonna forget in 4 seconds.
Rose.
God damn it.
Rose is like, all right, I got to take my little Sharon to Silent Hill because she keeps dreaming about it. I don't know, because we always indulge our children's fantasies.
Yeah. Hey kids, you afraid of clowns? Well, I'm just gonna throw you into a circus and call me if you don't get lost. And that's
It's
not how
literally
it
just a
is.
plot point for them to get to Silent Hill. It doesn't make any sense. It truly doesn't. Anyway, so they pack up the Jeep and they head out to Silent Hill. I guess spoilers, this movie's been out for a long time. You should definitely watch it, but they get into a car accident on the way and actually pass. So they're stuck in this limbo of Silent Hill where this whole town is stuck under the curse of it's like Sharon, yeah.
It's like the big fog that's around everyone, and there's monsters in the fog.
Yeah, well, it's foggy, but it's also ash from the mines that are on fire underneath the town.
Very metal.
Yeah, oh yeah. And and the town is constantly shifting in between this muted fog, raining ash, a siren goes off, everything gets rusty and dark, and all the monsters appear.
I just
Can we have a moment to enjoy that Brody just made a pun and didn't get it.
I didn't get my own joke.
Because Jess is talking about how there are mines under the town. Brody said very metal. I went, no, and Brody gave
I
me
was
this
just
look.
fucking stupefied. Like,
He's like, what do you
I think they're coal mines. Okay, so
well, that's less funny.
brief introduction, not important. What it's not like the plot of this movie is not important. What is good about this movie and what is good about the games? From what I've seen many playthroughs. I've never played them though, so I don't want to discuss them like I've played them. It's the atmosphere is so chilling. It really affects you on like a visceral level in the games and in the movie. Like there is, because you're constantly shifting from perceived safety to danger with just the sound of a siren. Which is horrifying. You can't control it. You're all familiar with Pyramid Head, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of cosplays of Pyramid Head. And I can
Pyramid
only
Head,
imagine.
we love Pyramid Head.
He's kind of become like the I was about to say figurehead, and
No, absolutely. I would
risk of
say
making another pun.
the Pyramid Head, you've got the flesh-eating little scarab babies that will just eat you alive. One of my favorite scenes from the movie is actually when they go to the bottom levels of the hotel to I don't know, like
There's always creepy stuff in the basement.
yeah, it's like Sharon's like reincarnation or whatever. It's not fucking important. It's the belly of the beast, we shall say, is at the bottom level of the hotel. The nurses, which are you guys familiar
I've
with
seen
that
those
scene?
too.
So the costume design is fucking fantastic, and it's all dancers. They had to hire a bunch of dancers to do it.
Like what kind of dancers? Like ballerinas? Or
Yeah. Like they're all professional ballerinas because the way they contort their bodies and move and the choreography of it,
Uh-huh.
it is just the creepiest, most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I absolutely love it. If you love good atmosphere, good CGI and practical effects, and good monsters, this movie is for you. The acting is shit. Like, full on.
Putting that out there.
Everything else is great.
The acting is shit. It does not have the same characters as the Silent Hill games, which, like, for me, is it doesn't matter.
So it runs into the same problem that Resident Evil had. So I'm gonna beg you the question, Jess. Is it a good video game film?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that for the... So here's the thing. Video games have become, as I've said many times here, such a cinematic experience already that you don't need to take the exact same story and just recreate it and put it on film. That gives people who play the games absolutely no reason to go see the movie. Why would you pay money to go see the exact same movie that you literally just played through?
Perhaps, and I'm just thinking about in modern times, we just saw the Uncharted trailer with Tom Holland, which I don't know about in terms of the games, but I have seen some repeated iconography. So I would imagine some people would be like, oh, maybe it's an origin story for these guys, or I wouldn't imagine.
Well, you could do an origin story, and it would still make it a good video game adaptation of the movie, even though it does not. It follows the game exactly.
Or it could be something that expands on the established lore or established universe, kind of like Assassin's Creed.
Maybe for a second or a third movie, but I really think when you hammer in this first one, you have to treat the audience like they don't know anything about it already.
Okay.
So jumping in and just ladling on all this lore that only makes sense if you've played all the games, I mean, it's not a great way to make money.
Would it also be because a big trope in narratives in video games, and you can see this in stuff like BioShock and Dark Souls even, is the idea that there was this big event in the recent history of this place, and now you're just playing through sort of the aftermath of all that.
You mean
Or even BioShock 1, it's just you see this dilapidated city.
I don't think a movie
That's
being made of Rapture in its heyday would be beneficial.
No.
Flashbacks would be cool.
That's what they do. They have
Yeah.
flashbacks in BioShock. But there is a video game that Jess will gladly put 30 plus hours in and has tried to get me to put at least 40 hours into it. Jess, you want to introduce the franchise that we're talking about next?
Is it Assassin's Creed?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Not yet.
Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, man.
Oh my
shit.
god. Oh my god. So, we're all 3 gigantic Pokemon nerds.
Absolutely.
I have a Pikachu tattooed on my shin.
I'm a baby Pokemon nerd. I've just recently, here's the story for me.
Rose, you're pretty in on it, man. I don't know.
I bought a DS, and then I bought Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and just would not get off my ass about getting a Switch so I could play Sword and Shield when they came out with her. And I'm like, fuck it, fine. Quarantine got me bored as hell. I bought one, and I told Jess, and Jess is like, hell yeah, now welcome to the Pokemon crew.
Yeah, now we're waiting on Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Hell yeah.
So ready.
And the Legend of Asterius.
That actually
Yeah.
does look really, like...
I mean, that one's gonna be. I don't know what to think about it. I don't want to talk about it a lot. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna ultimately enjoy it, but we'll be let down.
We'll have a lot to
Just like
say.
everybody else.
We'll have a lot to say when it comes out.
Oh, we'll do a full episode on it. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yes,
But-
we will.
Here's the thing. There's a long-standing tradition in Japan where Pokemon talk to humans. In America, that's not so much. So one of the most surprising releases was Detective Pikachu, the Pokemon film, where you actually talk to Pikachu. Voice.
And he's voiced by Ryan Reynolds, which I know is like. On paper, it sounds like it wouldn't work, but it does.
Would you
does.
have preferred it? I remember when everyone came out, it's like, oh, it should be Danny DeVito.
No, see,
I don't think I would want a little Danny DeVito sounding creature to sleep in bed with me.
See, here's the thing, though.
Speak for yourself.
It's a wholesome reason why, though. Ryan Reynolds
My
tried
Pikachu
out.
sleeps in bed with me also. Like
It sounds like Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah,
too.
in my brain, like my little Pikachu is my best friend, and we do everything together.
Ryan Reynolds wanted to do a role for a film that his children would enjoy. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you know what?
He knocked it out of the fucking park.
Can I just...
Pokemon is coming out with a film. I'm gonna try it out.
Have any of you played the Detective Pikachu game though?
I have
No.
not.
No, I haven't either. I
Can
haven't either.
Can I interject real quick?
Of course.
The idea of I'm going to take this video game role because it would really impress my son is exactly what Bob Hoskins also did before saying yes to Mario. So
The actor for Venom or for
Tom Hardy
no,
and Venom.
the actor
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace. His son is such a huge Venom fan.
Topher Grace has a son. Wow, we're old.
At least Eddie and Venom from
Eddie.
the new Venom movies.
Topher Grace was Venom in the early 2000s
Oh.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man
No,
3
not
from
him.
Sam Raimi. Wait, what?
Not him.
Yeah, Sam Raimi.
Are we not
Edit
talking about
that part
Topher
out.
Grace?
We are talking about Topher Grace.
Hold on.
What happened to Topher Grace, guys?
I think you just kind of like decided to chill out for a while.
I would do the same thing, honestly.
I feel like at a certain point, if you've been in enough TV and movies, you can just kind of realize now might be a good time to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, just like produce some shit.
I'm sure he's still getting royalties off.
Tom Hardy, guys.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
Yeah, his son is a massive Venom fan, and he's like got the opportunity to audition for it, and he's like, you know what, my son loves this character, what the hell, why not? And his son actually inspired like a lot of his characterization of Eddie Brock and Venom, to the point where it's like it's reflected in his acting
It's
for
nice.
the two. So like,
He got notes from an expert.
But unfortunately, unlike Venom, Detective Pikachu is actually very well received by critics and audiences all the way around.
which is a tragedy. Venom
No,
should be-
no, because we're talking about Detective Pikachu, and
Don't-
I gotta tell you, I have been playing Pokemon since it came out. I am
Yep.
32 years old. I still play Pokemon like it's 1997. I give no shits about that.
and I was
gotta
actually
tell
born
you-
in 1997, so Pokemon has always like coexisted with me.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I literally was almost in tears during when they first get to that city. What's it called? The main city?
Oh,
It's a city. I don't know the name. It's not even important. But it's a city where Pokemon and humans cohabitate as equals, which I think was really cool. So you don't catch them in this city. You cohabitate as equals. They're your partners. If they choose to be with you, that's their decision. And, you know, you work together like friends, like a family. And I really enjoyed that. But I got to tell you, the opening scenes of that city, I was almost in tears. Because, like, this is what I wanted since I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is the only time where I would have accepted a live-action Pokemon movie. Imagine if a live-action Pokemon movie came out in, like, 2002.
Oh, you're talking about the... Wait, when did the Pokemon movie come out? I've got that on DVD, by the way, guys.
The Pokemon movie...
Yeah, 2019. Can you see when the Pokemon, the Mewtwo movie came out where we got introduced to Mewtwo?
That must have been, like, before year 2000.
I think
like
it was 1999 because my dad took me and my sisters to see it in theaters.
That makes sense.
My poor father.
Oh. That's just being a dad.
Yeah. This movie, like, if you don't even have to be a big Pokemon fan to enjoy it because both of my sisters are just casuals and they loved it. My husband even enjoyed it. I actually don't think we should spoil the ending on this one. It's
Rhyme City. It's called Rhyme City.
Rhyme City is nice.
Yeah, it's just like, it is like the ultimate feel-good movie, and I can't speak to how closely related it is to the game. I'm going to assume, just like everything else we've discussed, not so much. But it's a little Pikachu that sounds like Ryan Reynolds in like an old school Sherlock Holmes hat. Like, what is
And they solve mysteries.
Yeah, they solve mysteries together.
I will say, though, like, the number one thing that I really want, and I have a whole tangent about this later, I just wanted to see the live-action Pokemon, and I don't care. I was, like, at a party, and I think this was on in the background on mute, and I still loved it.
That's how you saw this?
Yeah.
I love Mewtwo.
Mewtwo was cool.
Was amazing because this is a big name movie. They're doing a lot of live action. They're actually doing the live action animation combination, which isn't seen a lot, and I fucking love that kind of style. But like, of course, you have to have the really big name Pokemon. You have an Eevee who evolves into one of the evolutions. What was it? Flareon?
Yeah, I think it was Flareon. Like, it was just on the guy's desk and boom.
Yeah, and Eevee like just randomly evolves because Eevee wanted to evolve. But then you have Pikachu, obviously.
Charizard was there.
Charizard,
yeah. You have a mean.
He's just doing what he's told. He's not mean.
He's just he's doing what he's told. He
He's a
almost
baby.
gets his
The Blasty Boy is there.
He almost gets his light.
Blastoise.
Yeah, he almost get his like light turned out though, because apparently it's like
the first episode of the anime.
Yeah.
if his tail goes out, if Charizard's tail goes out, then they die.
Yeah.
And his tail almost went out. I will say that. That was almost disappointing.
All I can think of now is like poor little Charmander on that rock when it's raining, trying to cover himself up with a little leaf. Oh,
He just wanted to be alive.
poor baby. And then he evolved too quickly and just stopped listening to Ash entirely.
Little shithead
Got
that
a
he is.
little big for your britches, huh, Charizard?
Well, look, Ash is a terrible trainer, okay? They addressed it in Journeys really well, I think, and actually started making like, oh, he's actually really good at battling. I'm like, thank God.
He's good at battling, but a shit trainer.
Also,
He's not good at battling in the Kanto series.
No, but he does in Ultra Sun and Moon. He eventually, like, it takes him how many fucking seasons to finally get a badge and win? Because in Ultra Sun and Moon, doesn't he win?
I mean,
Or
it
he
took him
comes close.
decades.
I've only
It's like-
seen half of the Ultra Sun and Moon series.
I haven't. All I know is that in a very quick synopsis that I read, he, like, really comes close to winning. Either he gets second place in Ultra Sun and Moon, or he wins in Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yeah, in Journeys he becomes a much more competent and is known to be a great battler, which I think finally, like, shit. Like, literally throughout the entire Kanto series, he's just given every badge. Like, yeah, you're a good person. Here you go.
Yeah. Wasn't it like even in like the early anime, it's just like he got all of his badges for like such bullshit reasons?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It will-
absolutely. Or like, you ran an errand for me. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the participation award.
Yeah,
No, not
absolutely.
even that. It was just like, I remember there was like that whole arc where he was beating Sabrina, who literally turned his friends into inanimate dolls.
Yeah.
Because-
That's a great episode,
Because
by
that's
the
the
way.
kind of magic we have. Then Ash needs to go catch like a ghost Pokemon. So he goes to a haunted house and fucking dies.
Ah, yes! Ash's death.
Ash dies
He
early
has
on.
died He died at least, what?
Did he
4?
white out?
He dies. He gets shocked by
legitimately died.
Pikachu and takes a blast to the face from Charizard like it's nothing.
Yeah,
The man's
then
invincible.
he also dies in one of the films, and Pikachu freaks
That's
the fuck
right.
out.
He turns into fucking rock.
No,
No, he does in
no.
the movie.
The movie,
yeah.
Yeah, he gets
movie,
between like
he
the big old
died.
blast. He's dead.
Yeah, he's
dead.
just surrounded by like all this rare Pokemon, just like me.
This kid has gone through too much.
And then Pikachu freaks the fuck out, and all the rare Pokemon, and even the legendary Pikachu freaks the fuck out, and it's like, oh shit, I fucked the legendary who killed him. Is like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Well, undo all this.
Well, look, there were plenty of Pokemon there that knew regenerative moves, especially if you get to those high levels. They could have done something.
Yeah, but do they work on humans though? No, that's just so weird for me though. Like,
Why?
Like, personally, like the parallel I keep pulling, it's so weird. It's like someone,
If that's the case,
a
if
vet saying, "Yeah, I can be a human doctor." That's so weird for me because they specialize in treating other Pokemon.
If
not
that's the
humans.
case,
Well,
and like
actually, if you want to get into brass tacks about this, I think plenty of veterinarians could adaptly treat many human ailments and surgically as well. They could do okay. Like,
oh my goodness!
yeah,
all right,
you've
look,
never seen a
to all the
movie. You've
vets-
never seen the movies where like, oh, I gotta get this bullet removed, and they go to a vet and he pulls it out and stitches them up.
okay, that's very
to all
different.
the vets and to all the medical professionals, we love you. I'm just
I think you totally misunderstood what I said though, because I really just think that like if a Pokemon's aggressive attacks can work on a human, their healing attacks can work on humans as well.
Okay,
no,
here's
I understood. It's just a weird concept for me.
Why? Why? You've never thought about it?
No, I haven't.
here's my addition. Like, what if like a Pokemon uses sleep powder on me? Do I fall asleep? No, wait. Better yet, we do see that happen.
Yeah, no, it absolutely
Jigglypuff
happens.
sings
when they
people
use
to
it.
sleep.
Jigglypuff
Jigglypuff
gets everyone
gets
to
so
fall
mad.
asleep with Sing.
Yeah.
They're-
Jigglypuff gets pissed off because everyone falls the fuck asleep. But like, I don't know. With healing,
She definitely brought it
No,
up
no, no.
herself.
If Sing works, if the attacks work, then the healing moves work as well.
I mean, if
Why-
if we follow that logic, then
Yeah.
it's so weird to me though.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a weird concept.
They're
for me.
magical tiny animals that exist. They're not real.
I mean, they eat these magical tiny animals.
They do eat them.
I would.
They do eat them. It's not
We
something
have
we
a
talk
whole.
about a lot.
We have a whole episode. The reason why it's just alluding to the whole fucking episode that we have planned about eating your Pokemon, but it's just a weird concept
People eat
for
apple
me.
tins all the time. It's in the Pokedex entry.
Mm-hmm.
They're delicious. Children eat pieces of them.
And if there's
It's
a-
in the Pokedex,
You're gonna
entry.
tell me there's
If
a Pokemon
you-
made of ice cream, and you're gonna tell me not to eat it?
Yeah, like
I'm
you're
sorry,
like
that-
Alcreme's just chilling at your house, and you're not gonna be like, ooh, let me just taste a little bit of you.
If you could see my face right now, it would be absolutely horrified and grossed out because I've never once thought of eating my Pokemon other than like a crab.
Oh, so you would eat a Krabby, but you wouldn't eat an Alcreme who's made of whipped cream. That's that makes no sense.
I'm sorry,
It's
but
in
when I had this thought, Alcreme didn't fucking exist.
I love Alcreme. I think she's amazing. I love doing all the different variants of her, getting all the different color variants.
Very tasty.
Yeah, very delicious, top tier. Aesthetics 100%. Used in battle, not so much.
Yeah.
But the Gigantamax form is the best in the game.
Oh my lord! So
Oh my god. Okay, so
Before
we need
we-
to talk about Assassin's Creed, guys.
Wait, can I
hold on,
just?
we have one more honorable mention that we're not going to talk about. Everyone's probably screaming at us. Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes,
Yes.
I agree. How the rings work in the movies, kind of weird, but you know what? I'll take it. So, Assassin's Creed. What do you guys know about it?
I've played the first couple of games and ended on Black Flag because you can't
you've
beat Black
played
Flag.
the Ezio trilogy. Cool.
I've played a couple of the Ezios and Black Flag and some of Origins and some of Syndicate.
So, I ask this because it is a long-ass list. And for everyone who doesn't know the Assassin's Creed franchise or the movie, basically, I'm not talking about Origins, I'm not talking about Odyssey, and I'm not talking about Valhalla because they don't really feel like a traditional Assassin's Creed game. Specifically because...
Black Flag does not either, though.
you still have viewpoints. You still have your mini map. You still have actual like gameplay aspects that make it an Assassin's Creed game.
There's viewpoints in Origins.
Not that many.
Yeah, but they're in there.
They don't count. They're not significant though. That's my issue with Origins. That's also my issue with like Odyssey.
Well, the whole point of, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the whole point of viewpoints, at least in like Ezio ones, was to be like, oh no, you actually climbed this.
To sync the map.
To sync the map and also be like, hey, you just climbed this very important structure.
Yeah, to show you the historical like importance and history in the Assassin's Creed games is very fucking significant. In the movie, not so much, and that's kind of a point of contingency for me.
Can I just ask real quick to get us to the movie? What is the time period that is
15th
And
century
what's the
Spain.
movie about? Because I'm familiar with the games, but I don't know any. It's Michael Fassbender, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not familiar with the movie, but fairly familiar with the games.
Well, okay, so the movie, here's the thing. Assassin's Creed, the movie, really, it exists within the domain of the games. And this is the reason why I bring up the games first, is because you have to really understand the games to understand the movie. Now, in the games, you have two predominantly warring organizations, which is the Assassins versus the Templars. And in the 21st century, that's a company called Abstergo. They're the Templars. The Assassins are kind of like more cloak and dagger in the shadows. Like, we work predominantly in behind the scenes, in the darkness. You don't see us.
It's the corporations versus the shadow people who control things.
Exactly. So Abstergo kidnaps certain people who have lineages connected to significant historical assassins who play significant roles in different historical time periods. And the whole thing is your DNA that's passed down hereditary is your ancestors' memories.
They
So
call it's like unlocking genetic memory.
Yeah.
Make you relive like what your ancestors have done.
Yeah, through a machine called the Animus. And there are multiple different assassins who go through this process. In the games, predominantly for Assassin's Creed 1, Ezio, which is Assassin's Creed 2, and then you have the Ezio series, or trilogy, which is Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. He dies. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Desmond
whatever.
dies. Desmond Miles.
It's been a while. It was
it's been a hot
after
minute.
3, right? Like,
Yeah, and like the Assassin's Creed 3, which is actually the fourth game in the franchise, but whatever. So Desmond Miles, he's one of the assassins who goes through this process, but in the movie, his name is Callum Lynch.
Yeah, it's a new guy, right?
Yeah, it's a completely different person, which is fine. It's perfectly fine because in the video games, Assassin's Creed 1 through 3, they really establish, hey, Miles, you're not the only one who goes through this process.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not the only one who's been kidnapped because you have some ancestral tie to what's called a piece of Eden, which are artifacts that have different supernatural abilities to control or to influence large, massive groups of people.
Right, which that's like the part where things start getting fuzzy for me personally. Like, it sounds like they really just needed a MacGuffin for all this.
It gets hammered out because the pieces of Eden, each one does something different.
Okay.
And in the movie, Callum Lynch, his ancestor is Aguilar, and we're talking about a 15th century Spanish assassin who basically the time period is like 1490 to 1492. That year is significant.
Right.
And I'll get back to that in a minute.
I'm sorry to derail you a little bit, but can we run through a quick synopsis of the movie in general? Because I'm pretty familiar with the overarching story of Assassin's Creed the games, but I have no idea what the movie is about.
So Callum grew up in a place called the Farm, and the Farm is referenced in the video games as a place where children of assassins or children who grow up to be modern day assassins in the 21st century like they all live on the place called the farm. And Callum is one of the assassins who grew up on the farm, just like Desmond in the games, but got out of the farm and decided to live a normal life. He gets kidnapped by Abstergo, and Callum is very much like, this is bullshit, I don't want to be here, you guys, everything about this, fucking ridiculous. And Abstergo is like, no, you're important. Why? Because your DNA is important. We need you to relive your ancestors' memories.
Right.
And we're going to put you in a machine called the Animus.
Which would I believe the Animus is also different in...
It is. So in the video games, it's just like a bed.
It's a bed with like a VR
sarcophagus.
thing.
Yeah, really.
And it's like a VR looking thing.
Yeah.
But
no, that's in the movie. The movie is a VR thing where actually like it's a crane hand that hooks you up into like a VR set.
Yeah, so
but
like
it moves in like you can climb and shit. So Callum relives Aguilar's memories in the Animus. And the point thing is though, what the Templars are after in the movie is an artifact, a piece of Eden called the Apple of Eden, which can actually control people's minds. And we're talking like entire towns, guys, like well over 100 people. It can control their mind. Gertie, FYI, has a Cheez-It, so if you hear her nomming away, that's what
some
it is.
tippy taps or some munchins. It's all Gertie.
It's our resident baby.
We're putting up a picture just again, so just in case you forgot what she looks like. Now imagine that in the Cheez-It.
Yeah,
but
it's cute.
Callum, though, the thing that differentiates Callum from Desmond Miles is he's not alone in his room. He's the facility that he's kept in. He's actually gets to interact with all these other different assassins or descendants of the assassins. One of them is like an early 18th century poisoner. Like, this man is fucking cool as hell.
I'm down for that.
Right? We don't really get to see him at all, but except for a few points. And he's always like, Callum, you're going to lead them to what they want. Callum, you're going to lead them to what they want. Derail them as much as you can. And Callum's like, fuck you. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even want to be here. Like, no one wants to fucking be there, Callum.
No, you're literally cattle. You're in a farm.
Yeah. So Callum gains the trust of one of the researchers who brought him in and is able to eventually break out, but not before showing them where the Apple of Eden is. See, here's a point of contingency. Assassin's Creed 1 through Revelation kind of beats us over the head with the Apple of Eden. Like Desmond, his entire family, Altair is the main assassin in Assassin's Creed 1.
Right.
That we mainly play as. His whole thing is the Apple of Eden. Guess what the main piece of Eden is in the Ezio trilogy?
I want to say Apple of Eden.
Yes. Like, my fucking god. It wraps up really well Altair's perspective and his history and how Ezio's family is directly descended from Altair and how long his family has been serving as the heads of the assassins all the way up from fucking Jerusalem, which is where a lot of the main actions and events take place in Assassin's Creed 1. Altair spends a lot of time in Jerusalem. He, gets the Apple of Eden, hides it away. Ezio finds it, hides it away, and then we jump suddenly from Renaissance Italy, which is Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelation. Suddenly, we're now in the American Revolution. The Assassin's Creed movie is supposed to be a point of connection between the two, where who sailed the ocean blue in 1492?
I want to say...
Christopher Columbus.
I was going to say
yeah.
Johnny.
Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in the year 1492. And that's important.
Fuck Christopher Columbus.
Yeah,
also,
fuck him.
side note.
Fuck
Side note, fuck that asshole.
Jesus
but
Christ,
he is
go
the
fuck
token,
yourself.
quote unquote, the token historical figure that interacts with Aguilar. Now, historical figures in the entirety of the Assassin's Creed franchise are really fucking important.
Yeah.
From Benjamin Franklin chilling with him in a bar to
See,
fucking
that
Napoleon.
seems dope right there. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, you get to meet Benjamin fucking Franklin in
Have some
Assassin's
ale
Creed
with
3.
Benjamin Franklin and some dirty bar. I feel like as a woman, I wouldn't have been super welcomed there, but
Yeah, well.
But
The negatives of time travel are very real.
Yeah, you know.
Creed Unity, though.
a guy at Wendy's drive-thru the other day called me sir, so I think I would have been okay.
Yeah, you would have been fine.
Historical figures,
That's
though,
fine.
have always played a really heavy role.
That does remind me of the Ezio stuff where he does become BFF.
Leonardo da Vinci!
He becomes BFFs with Leonardo da Vinci.
I love
Yeah,
him!
but you know, like IRL, they were definitely having sex.
Oh my god.
Of course they were. This is Ezio. Ezio can't keep it in his pants.
And it's-
Neither
the-
can Da Vinci.
And it's the Renaissance. You could do anything.
Yeah,
Also,
I do love that stuff. Though.
Also, Rose, I remember from playing Assassin's Creed 2, there's one part where there's quick time events, and if you miss a high five with Leonardo da Vinci, if you miss that, he's just like so heartbroken.
I
And
missed that quick time event. The
I
first
did
time
too.
I played it, I came.
didn't.
My
Yeah.
sweet bad, my
I
sweet inventor
cried.
boy was so disappointed.
I mean, not to play Mario Party with you guys.
Jesus Christ.
We'll miss the high five every time.
Aw.
I almost no. It's a hug. You give him a fucking hug because he's moving. You don't know as the player where he's moving to. But at the end of Assassin's Creed 2, you become best friends with Leonardo da Vinci, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm moving." He's in Florence, by the way. He's actually moving to Venice to do a lot more of his work.
Right.
And in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, one of the QuickTime events that you had to play through is helping Leonardo move from Florence to Venice, which helps you gain
I don't
entrance.
help anybody move. Also,
No, but that's
Like I play video games to escape this kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I don't help anyone move.
No, but that helps you. The point
I'm
of
just
that-
kidding. If you guys needed help, I would help you. But
Oh, thank you.
Well,
yes.
I'm in my
you could-
30s now. I buy movers at this point.
But
That's
no,
smart.
like that helps you gain access to Venice, right? So historical figures play massive roles in the franchise. So you help the player understand, you know, the historical context, how this person would have interacted with a historical figure of the time. Like, to me, if I were to meet Leonardo da Vinci on the street, that wouldn't fucking happen, first and foremost. Today's standards, if he was a modern day 21st century artist who fucking took off, we would not be seeing him. The likes of fucking, I don't know, Tom Hiddleston maybe might meet Leonardo da Vinci, but I wouldn't as a normal person. But Christopher Columbus literally just pops up at the end of the film. Hi, my name is Aguilar. I know you're a friend of the assassins. Take this really fucking specific piece of Eden, the apple of Eden.
Did they try to do it like as like the big reveal, or is it just like I popped up? It's like, hey guys.
It's literally just a pop up. Like Aguilar, after going through all his shit, goes right up to Christopher Columbus, gives him the apple of Eden, and says, "Take this wherever your travels may take you."
And then that so
Is that the end of the movie?
No, that's not. Thank
So-
God it's not.
so Aguilar gave Christopher Columbus this item that
It's
corrupts
really
people.
fucking important. And here's the thing. In the video games, in Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, and Revelation, you actually get to use the Apple of Eden. You actually use the Apple of Eden. The movie, no one uses it. So no one in the audience, except if you played the games, actually knows what the fuck the Apple of Eden does. Aside from, oh, it influences you in your mind. No! It actually does really cool shit.
I have a very general question about Assassin's Creed as a franchise. Do you think it would be better or worse if you just cut out all the bullshit of modern day and remembering all this?
No.
No?
Absolutely not, because there are 3 storylines for Assassin's Creed. The overall, like, really big Templars versus Assassins, which dates farther back than the Third Crusade, in Assassin's Creed 1, it takes place during the Third Crusade, because you were specifically in the Middle East, and some of the side characters actually reference as like the English king, or reference other historical
If
figures.
I may
Right,
interject
but-
for a moment, I feel like the only thing that you're talking about, the tech stuff specifically,
Yeah.
No,
like yeah, I feel like
Miles.
all
No.
that does is give the production team the ability to jump around and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'm just curious
Because
though,
you
like,
have, hold on. The second one is the modern day, because you have Miles, you have the modern day assassins and their struggles with everything. And then you have the historical, like the ancestors, reliving their memories. I think if you take out the modern day stuff, you kind of lose something that really sets Assassin's
I'm gonna be
Creed
honest
apart.
with you. I skip all that shit in the game. I skip all of it. I don't watch
Yeah.
any of it. I skip it. I don't watch it. And I feel like your average player that plays these games doesn't watch it.
and the main pull of all these games really is just like being in that historical event.
100%.
And so to the point where
accurate
we-
cities, running through them, the freedom, the exploration.
And so to
that's
the-
what people like about the games.
And so to the point
yeah.
of just being like this guy who's playing a guy in another game, it just kind of feels a little redundant and just feels like,
But then
gateway to like what I really want out of
If you
this
actually pay
game.
attention, for the players like me who actually pays attention to the modern day setting, though,
Right.
Miles is a shit character when you first meet him.
Both.
He literally can't do anything. But through Altair and through Ezio specifically, he learns how to be a fucking assassin. So it really shows the impact of being in the Animus. It shows the impact of reliving your ancestors' memories, because
what Brody is saying though is like the impact would not exist if you took away the animus. Like the story would still be impactful because you'd still be going through like the
But if you
journey
took
with
out-
Ezio. But if you took out every other aspect of like your modern day character who has lineage in common with the assassin that you're playing from that time period, it you still get all the meat and potatoes of the game just without, it's just exposition. And I guess what Brody is saying, is it important or isn't it? And I'm gonna say it's not.
Well, let me
like
just-
it's not for me, but for someone like Rose, it's super important.
Well, let me just propose
Don't
this.
roll your eyes at me, Jeff.
No, I'm not.
No, she was rolling her eyes at me, because it does show, because Miles actually does play like in later games, because you've only played a few of them, in Revelation and in Assassin's Creed 3, Miles gets a bit more of I don't know, a highlight. He gets more camera time.
He has a
like
character
play time.
arc
Yeah,
that, like, kind of
you
excels.
actually have a character arc, and that's something that really sets the Assassin's Creed series apart from other video games and movies for me. Right? It's the idea that you need this person to relive. Oh, we have to let Gertie out.
Gertie's crying.
You got it, Brody?
I got it.
Sorry, my chair's not on.
Because we don't have any of the original characters, but it fits within a lore
But
perspective.
that like literally is a recurring trend of everything that we've discussed today. And I don't think we're ever gonna get that truly in a video game movie, because I like
It can't be
They're
100%.
we got it.
They're
No, we got it
adaptations.
in Tomb Raider. We mentioned Tomb Raider. I will say
We
we got
vaguely-
it. We got it in Tomb Raider.
Well, yeah, because Laura Croft. I mean, what other characters in Tomb Raider do you miss? Like, let's
Yeah,
be
really.
honest here. I've seen a few of the Angelina Jolie ones. They're fine. Enough.
And Mario. Hold on, Mario. We got Mario.
We got Mario, and we were just talking about like video game cast members, and we'll be remiss if we didn't talk about the new Mario game, not Mario game, Mario movie coming out, and the cast list was released, and everyone kind of went wild over it.
How can you not? How can you not? Run us through it, bro.
Just to
It's majestic.
just to run through this real quick. Mario himself, Chris Pratt, which a lot of people considered very controversial, but I really just got to see it for myself.
I agree with that.
Luigi as Charlie Day. I'm 100% for that.
I am too. I think it's perfect casting. Charlie Day can play frightened yet confident all at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Anna Taylor-Joy is Princess Peach. I like her, but I just haven't seen enough like voice acting from her.
Caitlin Olsen should have been Princess Peach, and I think this is ageism, like all the way around.
I will say Anna Taylor-Joy looks like she could play a live-action Princess Peach.
Oh, she's wonderful.
I think
she's
that's what
supremely
motivated
talented.
things pretty well.
Yeah, she's supremely talented.
Bowser, Jack Black.
I'm so down for that. I'm a huge Jack Black fan.
You know what is like something that's really sad that I've noticed through all this? There's a lot of musicians.
You're putting Jack Black in that category.
They're putting
Jack
Jack Black, Chris Pratt, and Charlie Day are all very musically talented. Are they gonna have songs?
Oh my god, that would be majestic.
I don't want songs. I don't want Mario songs. No, that's a dark path we don't need to go down as a culture.
I want one. I want one song, and it better be in Japanese. I better be seeing American actors try to sing in Japanese.
Oh, you weird.
You know that's not going to happen. It would be a huge scandal. That's not going to happen. They would get accused of cultural appropriation.
People are already mad at Chris Pratt for not being Italian. If you Chris Pratt being a fake Italian singing a Japanese song might kill the world. Yeah, we've also got Keegan-Michael Key as Toad.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's perfect casting.
Yeah, he has done like a lot of voice acting stuff. He was also in the Dark Crystal thing as one of the Skeksis, and I think like if he does that voice for it, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
He was
That
in
casting.
Dark Crystal?
The newer one, the series they made.
Oh, I didn't see the series.
It's worth checking out. Especially if you really just want like something that's like good effects and stuff like that, because they really nailed it on that.
Continue.
I trust you.
And we've also got Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I mean, you could have maybe found someone better, but honestly, like I really just enjoy Seth Rogen,
If
so
you wanted
I'm fine
to pick,
with it.
if you wanted to pick Donkey Kong as like a chill dude, which I'm all 100% for, it's got to be Seth Rogen.
Yeah, Stoner Bro, Donkey Kong. I hope they have him make pottery also.
Wait, is Diddy Kong in there?
No, but Cranky Kong is played. But Cranky Kong played by Fred Armisen, which I can only imagine is going to be like the.
Fred
goofy
Armisen
old
can
man.
do anything.
Honestly, yeah,
He really can.
Hold on, for people who don't know him by name, give me a refresher.
Saturday Night Live in Portlandia.
He's a wacky fellow with like glasses on.
He's a musician too.
Oh, Brody just shoved his. Okay, I know him. Just shoved his phone in my face to show me the picture.
I just like inches away, like here.
Yeah.
You know this person.
Look at Fred. But yeah, Fred Armisen. I can imagine that being like because Cranky Kong's whole shtick is that he's like an old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little cranky man.
And the ones that I don't recognize from the Mario universe, we got Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek.
Not familiar either.
Kamek. And Sebastian Maniscalco, thank you. I don't know Italian. Sebastian Maniscalco as Foreman Spike, who I think actually is a character in the 1993 Mario movie. I'm not verified. It's not verified, but Koopa does have a cousin. He has two cousins who are like the goons chasing them, and one of them's name is Spike. Yeah. So if not like the same, then they definitely like the same inspiration.
I think doing a Mario franchise, and obviously this is from Sonic doing well, which is, I mean, I love Ben Schwartz, but let's be honest, it's about Jim Carrey.
Wonderful. Jim
Carrey, 100%. Dr. Robotnik. I think taking it and doing the CGI animation cartoons of it is like a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good idea.
Like, I can understand writing off the success of another movie like Sonic. Like, Sonic did really well. But I really want to ask the question, though. If you wanted to reintroduce the Mario franchise, and we've talked about this off camera, personally, why wouldn't you do Luigi's Haunted Mansion? Especially since Luigi's Haunted Mansion 3 just was a more recent release for the video game.
But assuming that they're gonna do this and they have plenty of room for sequels because people are gonna probably bring their kids to all
maybe
this.
do like Luigi's Haunted Mansion would be a far better reintroduction to the audiences.
I think it would be a better miniseries actually.
Not
Luigi's
not
Mansion?
like a movie. I would imagine that like being on their
Haunted
docket if they want like sequels for this.
Yeah, but like it just begs the question. Yes, the casting is great, so you can land great actors.
Some are great.
Some are great. Some are better.
Some
than
are
others.
I'm hot and cold on.
Some are better than some are better than
I just
others.
when I see Mario, I don't hear Chris Pratt's voice coming.
I
out
hear
of
Bob
it.
Hoskins.
No.
Because
you
that-
hear Bob?
Bob Hoskins. That's just stuck in my brain now. Like
Okay,
that.
so hear me out. We've had this discussion earlier, but I'll bring him up again. Our boy Danny DeVito
Yeah.
as Mario.
No.
As Waluigi?
Oh,
Waluigi. Oh my
no,
god.
Wario. My bad. I was,
yeah,
think-
Wario.
I was
Wario.
thinking Wario, but I said Waluigi.
Yeah, Wario would be amazing.
Andy Dick can be Waluigi.
Andy Dick is
Waluigi.
Waluigi.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too good.
Well, since we're already doing it, I have to ask hypothetical castings for your own video game movies.
Okay.
What video game? Not necessarily your favorite, but what video game do you think would translate beautifully to film, and who would you cast in it?
I started this off by like asking the question of Luigi's Haunted Mansion because we're talking about the current casting of Mario. Mine would be Luigi's Mansion or BioShock, quite honestly.
BioShock could be interesting.
BioShock
Tom
would
Hardy would be a good protagonist for BioShock, actually.
Now
That's just
you're
like
on
a-
board with me.
No, I'm not. I'm
How
not.
the tables
Jet.
have turned.
No, just why must you?
I'm not on board.
Kingdom Hearts though would
Okay.
be phenomenal.
That would
as-
be a legal nightmare to have so many
No,
Disney
wait,
movies
'cause,
come
like,
back
Disney-
together.
That's how it
I
feels.
really do feel like if you wanted to do Kingdom Hearts 1, which would be an amazing movie in and of itself.
I want to
Would-
think that like the pacing would be off, and it might be better as like a mini series.
I mean,
You know, like
that's
one
why-
one level each episode.
I mean, that's what they're doing with Percy Jackson, but that's a whole other.
We'll get to that later.
Oh, we have a deep dive, real deep dive into
I
that one.
have a video game that I'm extremely fond of that I know would translate perfectly to a 2.5 hour time slot, and that is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be epic as fuck. It would be exactly what everybody wanted. It's like a more nature-driven Transformers in a dystopian future or past. It doesn't matter. I would absolutely cast Rose Leslie from Game of Thrones, Ygritte as Aloy.
Who was, for the Game of Thrones fans, the wildling that Jon Snow fell in love with, the redhead one.
That he had sex with in a cave and then married in real life.
What?
Yeah,
Have
you've never seen Game of Thrones? Holy shit!
Oh, they have cave sex.
Yeah, they have cave sex. They talk about it too. And I think the only other character I think I need to mention that would have notable casting would be Roast, and I would honestly do I could see like a Javier Bardem kind of guy.
What does Roast his name?
So he's like her father figure at the beginning of the game.
Oh, like the adoptive guy.
Exactly. That takes her in and teaches her all. It's the tutorial section of the game. It's her father.
Yeah.
It's her father. So I would say Javier Bardem would be good. And for some reason, I feel like John C. Reilly would be good too. Maybe he's not as gruff as he would need to be. But I feel like that John C. Reilly can do anything.
John C. Reilly is underrated in terms of dramatic performances.
I agree entirely. And he can do them both. I think it was only a few years apart when he did Step Brothers and Gangs of New York. I would have to double check the dates, but
That's interesting.
yeah, and he's fantastic in both of them.
I also have a theoretical idea I want to talk about. Have y'all played the games Infamous?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
So it's,
Rose, you would really love them.
it's like a gritty superhero PlayStation-y kind of thing.
I do love Injustice.
Oh well.
So give me the deed.
It's nothing
Yeah.
like Injustice.
It's not. It's very much its own animal, and the main character, his name is Cole McGrath, and he's kind of awakened a mutation in him that gives him electrical powers.
You would like it a lot.
But my guy, who I thought would be really good for this, I just remembered him from Hobbs and Shaw or whatever that is. Jason Statham, as just as just that somewhat older, seen some shit, really over everything he's doing, even though he's carrying it out with expertise.
Yeah, you can put Jason Statham in anything.
He's been in action. He can do all that, and just putting him in like a dark, gritty environment with superpowers, I would love that.
Yeah.
What about the guy who did? Was it Bruce Willis who did Unbreakable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about
Bruce
that?
Willis, he's too old and too big. I think the real
He's
character.
too old. Like if you 20, 30 years ago, yeah.
Like
maybe.
even though I suggested him, like Jason Statham actually is a lot older
They
than
have
how he is in the game.
They have totally different vibes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Bruce Willis is kind of like daddy. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Daddy.
Oddly, yes.
Yeah. That's not who I envision in that kind of role.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about like who are like, because like a lot of video games are like the tough, grizzled protagonist guy, and there's a lot of movies that also have that sort of typecasting.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I just really think like a Horizon Zero Dawn movie would be so fucking bomb.
I mean, if nothing else, just like let's get Michael Bay in on it.
No, really, like you could. It does the story is there. It does not have to be fiddled with. I don't care what you say in between, but these mecha animals that exist and reproduce naturally. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and there's also like some character moments in there too.
Oh, the character moments are wonderful. I mean, it's like one of the best games I've played. Oh, since The Last of Us.
I was about to say The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Also, hypothetical casting.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to do Until Dawn.
Okay.
I would love
What
to
do you mean
see...
hypothetically cast Until Dawn? They're all real people. It's Hayden Panettiere, like Rami Malek. Like they're already casted. It's already a movie.
Back to do like an actual Until Dawn movie where either one survives and the rest of them die, or they all survive and like the Wendigo dies. You know.
That's not gonna happen. I really think it's truly amazing that they even got Rami Malek to do that movie as early as they did. Like, let's be honest here.
Oh, yeah.
I purchased the game simply because you guys know I love horror, but I was like, ooh, Hayden Panettiere slasher game. I'm down. Like early 2000s, young Jessica. You know who didn't love Heroes? Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've only seen like 2 episodes,
Oh,
and I think
really?
it was just like over me.
The first 2 seasons are good.
Okay.
Yeah, watch the first 2 seasons. Anything after that, like.
But I also heard like it ends on like a cliffhanger that's like stupid.
What's Heroes?
It's just people find out.
People all over the world to find out they have superpowers, and it's about their stories and how they interconnect. And there's always like, oh, we have to save the world. Something there's some
It's
like
very character
doomsday
drama-y.
event. Yeah, it's very character drama. Hayden Panettiere in particular plays a cheerleader. Save the cheerleader, save the world. Who cannot die. She has regenerative properties.
Yeah.
Like she there's a great scene of her and her friend like after school filming her like jumping off of like really high scaffoldings and stuff, and her breaking her leg and snapping it back together and healing it.
I have also like one, and this is not a joke. It's a real casting for a video game movie in development. I heard this from Bobby Lee on his podcast.
I love Bobby Lee.
He's so great.
He's so great.
Cute guy.
Yeah.
Have you seen? Y'all have played Borderlands, right?
Love Borderlands.
Yes. Oh my god.
Well, actually, I only like
are they
Tales
doing-
from the Borderlands.
Are they doing a Borderlands movie?
Yeah, and they have someone.
I
who's,
swear to God,
they
it
have
better be
someone
like
cast
Mad
as
Max.
Roland. Who would you imagine would be cast as Roland?
I don't know. Who's Claptrap?
I don't know that.
Is it Andy Dick?
I only that would
Yep.
work.
That would.
Roland, the soldier from Borderlands, who's like this tough guy, action hero, highly disciplined, militaristic, played. Oh, I wish. Played by Kevin Hart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? You don't think that's such a mixed tone? Of like a tiny funny man being this military guy?
All of Borderlands is mixed toned, so I think
That's
it'll be
very
fine.
true.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be fine because Borderlands has no set like.
More importantly, Kate Blanchett is Lilith.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I just read it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is perfect.
Yeah, sure. Real quick, I just know we've only given like honorable mentions. Let's just all just do one more each of like if recommended video game movie for better or worse, something someone should watch.
What do we think like the best one is that we discussed today?
Or just like general like 1, 2, 3. This is what you're all about. Like if you want like one person to watch this.
I think one that's currently out, Detective Pikachu, absolutely. But
Okay.
if you want to watch something spooky, Halloween should have just passed, but the Silent Hill movie is truly wonderful.
It's hard, because I love the Assassin's Creed games.
Right.
But you can skip the movie, so I'm actually going to go in a completely different direction and say Hitman.
Hitman's interesting. Is it really like
I've never played the games, never seen the movie. I've read the
You recommended this.
No, hold on. I read the synopsis, and I saw the clips, and I saw some of the stuff.
Well, that's all about we have to say.
Bye!
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I'm Brody.
I'm Jess.
Grandma.
Once
And
again, thank you for listening.
yeah, see you next time. Peace.